Don't waste money on the wrong sander. I found some of the best sanders for woodworking no matter what your budget is. All the way from very inexpensive, all the way up to some high-end sanders, and even a hidden gem here I found on Amazon. Let's go. We're about to put all these sanders to the test, but first, I want to know what sander you're using currently. Comment below and let me know. No matter where you're at in your woodworking journey, no matter if you're just a beginner and you're very surprised to see how expensive some of these sanders can be, or if you've been around a while and you're just looking for a sander that'll get the job done but not break the bank, I think the best sander under $100 is this DeWalt. I do have a brand new sander from VEVOR just come out, and we're going to put that through the paces as well in this video. But if we're here for the let's get me a sander to get started, the DeWalt is the way to go. It's under $100. It has variable speed. The actual vibration on this sander is minimal, and it doesn't have a lot of heat buildup. And if you don't know, if you're starting out sanding, heat is the enemy of your sanding surface. It'll cause the sawdust to build up on your sandpaper and cake up, and it'll give you just a really bad finish. And you'll start seeing those little swirlies when you start putting stain on and things like that. So you want a good solid sander to start out with. You can't go wrong with this DeWalt. I've had one for years. It's just a tried and true sander, and that you can pick up pretty much anywhere. Of course, all of these sanders are linked in the description and the pinned comment to help you find them easier. But this is my pick. If you're on a little bit tighter of a budget, Craftsman makes one that are identical. I swear they're coming out of the same factory. That's my best guess because they look so much alike. One is red and one is yellow. It's the only difference. It's not variable speed, not that matters a ton. Just sanding regular projects. So if you're just looking for a budget-friendly sander, get that Craftsman. Otherwise, get the DeWalt with the variable speed. Gives you a little bit better options. Next up, if you're just looking for a really good budget-friendly cordless sander, I'm not a huge fan of budget cordless sanders. I'm just not. I think that I would just get the DeWalt, but if you're on the Ryobi platform, this is a really good one. This is their new 1+ HP sander. It's not the best balanced sander. In other words, you can see how it kind of hangs from the back. There's others here that are way better balanced, but they're also way more expensive. But if you're just looking for a sander to get the job done, you just need a cordless sander, this is Ryobi's a solid option. Now, it's kind of heavy. It's a little bit vibrating, but the finish is there. Dust collection is not the greatest, but the sandpaper sticks to it like nobody's business. Solid option if you're looking for a cordless. There's better here if you have more budget. I do like that there is an LED light on here, which I've never noticed before, even though I've tested this sander. It didn't stand out to me, only because there's a sander on this list that has a light that is mind-blowing. Next, this VEVOR. It's very surprising, but it does have some drawbacks. Tough tools, half the price. It's actually like a third of the price on this option. I do like the color. That orange and black, I'm a fan of orange. I like orange colored things. This should cost more. It feels like it should cost more. Like really, it's really nice feeling in the hand. The packaging and all that is very basic. It's kind of almost cheapy feeling, but when you pull the actual tool out, kind of impressed with this. We'll see how it performs. I also do like that it has a detachable cord. Festools do that, and it's always just nice. All right, out of the box, you do get an owner's manual. You get some sandpaper, so they do include some inside of the sandpaper package. There is a wrench, and you might want to hang on to that because you can change these pads out with that Allen key, or if you have your own, do what you do. Throw that away or put it in the junk drawer. It also comes with a dust hose that you can connect to the sander's dust extraction port. And the good thing is that does pivot there, so I like to see that. But I think this is kind of unnecessary if you already have a dust extractor. But if you're just using a shop vac, maybe you can reduce that up to the shop vac size. But good news is the Festool dust extractor does connect right on there. I like to see that because I'm using the Festool dust extractor. If you're using the Milwaukee dust extractor or some other one, you might can adapt this down better versus trying to get it to that smaller dust connection. Then you also get the sander out of the box, which I'm impressed with the overall feel of this. We haven't used it yet. We're going to put it through the paces. I want to see if it overheats. That's a concern I have because of how similar this looks to the 3M sander. If you remember, I tested the 3M sander, the Gen 1 version, and there were a lot of reports about this thing overheating, and then 3M confirmed that there was an issue, and then they come out with a Gen 2 sander. The Gen 2 is supposed to be fixed, better ventilation, all that stuff. I let somebody borrow one of these, a Gen 2, and he sands a lot. And he used it for several months without any issues, and then the same thing happen after about 5 or 6 months of use. So I don't necessarily recommend, I don't recommend the 3M sanders. Buy at your own caution. But we'll see how this stacks up, because this I thought was going to be exactly like the 3M sander. They do look very similar, but it's actually different. So I don't know if it's actually coming out of the same factory or not. It uses the same size motor, 350 watt motor, as the 3M, and they both have 10,000 RPMs. They're also both digital as far as your variable speed goes, and the power button turns it on and off to activate that paddle switch. They also both have the paddle switch. So they kind of do favor quite a lot. The case is different, but I'm wondering if they're not using the same motor and electronics in both of these. I have no way of proving that or knowing that, but it just feels that way to me, or it seems that way. You tell me what you think. The power cable actually detaches, which I really like, and it does clip in, so you don't have to worry about it pulling out without you pushing the button, release button on the bottom. Now, I've got this powered on, and as you can see, the plus and minus does raise and lower the speed as indicated by the LED lights there. I wish that was a little bit more prominent, that I could see that a little better, maybe a bigger window, bigger LED lights that show, but this works. This is also a brushless motor, which is fantastic to see. Now, how is it gonna feel on the first power up? Is it gonna be vibrating? We'll find out. It's smooth. There's a little vibration there though. A lot of what you're hearing is the air noise, but yeah, it's pretty smooth. I do feel a little bit of vibration. This is a 6-inch sander. You can buy 5-inch pads for these as well. I think there's a version that actually comes with the 5 and the 6 I'll link to in the description. But I like the 6-inch sanders. I just prefer them because you're getting more surface area that you're sanding, so you don't have to sand as long. This is 5.0, which means 5mm stroke. Now that does not mean a 5-inch sander, that means 5mm stroke. So I actually prefer the 5mm strokes if you're sanding wood, because otherwise if you're just doing like finishes and things, I like the finer strokes like the 2.5 or 3.5mm. So I use this VEVOR sander for 10 minutes without stopping, and I can tell you the vibration is there. My hand is a little bit tingly, but for this price range, I kind of expected that it would have some type of vibration, and we'll compare it to the others and see how that stacks up later. As far as heat buildup goes, zero heat where my hand is. It's like 80, mid 80s or so, maybe even high 80 degrees, but you can't feel that as far as heat goes anywhere around your hand. When I'm looking into the side, I think we're getting right at 101 or so. If you check the heat on the bottom side, you can see that it gets like 112, I think was the highest reading I got. It's not overly hot inside of there. It's maintaining the heat well, but I am using it with a dust extractor. I think off dust extractor without the airflow, you're gonna see higher temperatures there, which is to be expected. As far as dust collection goes, very impressive. I am using it with a dust extractor, but you can see there is no buildup on the sandpaper at all. And where you'll see buildup is if the pad is getting too hot and there's not enough air being pulled through there to pull that sawdust off of there. But as you can see, it's pulling it through. There's tons of holes on here all around the outside, plus there's bigger holes. This helps with the airflow. This is also helping with that dust collection. So I am glad to see that the dust collection did very well. The only really downside I see here is the vibration, and it's not horrible. It's probably on par with, say, the DeWalt that's less than $100. So you're looking at that, but you are getting that 6-inch pad, really good dust collection, and it did sand pretty well. Another thing I noticed when sanding with this is that you can stop the pad if you put pressure down on that. Of course, we're all supposed to let the sander do its job. However, there are times when you just want to bear down on it and get the sanding done, like with saw marks, or you're just trying to get into something. This will stop on you, but it's not unlike other sanders. The DeWalt actually is a little stronger than that. The Milwaukee M12 does also stop. The Festool sanders do a fantastic job. And then if you compare it directly to what I think is its brother, is this 3M, it's very similar in that as well, as if you put a little too much pressure, it will stop that pad. It's just one of those things that happen. If you want one that doesn't stop, these Festool sanders are a beast. Now the cordless, to me, feels even stronger. In other words, you can really bear down on it and it not stop the pad as easy as the Festool corded one, but the corded one also is very strong. So it just depends on what you're using these for, if that's gonna matter. For normal sanding operations, just sanding tabletops or end tables or cutting boards or whatever wood project you're sanding, you shouldn't have any issues with this. Only if you truly try to bear down. And even then, it's still spinning a little bit. For the price I paid for this, I think it was like $140. You're getting a 6-inch sander, really good dust collection. It does vibrate quite a bit more than the DeWalt actually, but we do get more sanding surface. We get really good dust collection. It's not overheating, and it is variable speed as well. Detachable cord. I think it's a solid option for $140. As far as longevity goes, these just come out, so there's no way to know that. I just don't recommend the 3M because of the overheating issues and the motor failure or electronic failing issues. So if these are exactly the same, we may see that, but we may not. I don't know. But for $140, you can always return it on Amazon. It's a solid option for a 6-inch sander that's really good for this price. And its build quality is what's most impressive here. I just like the way it's built. I like the ergonomic design. I like everything about it. I just wish it wasn't so vibrating. If it didn't have that much vibration, I think this would be a stellar pick for 140 bucks. Give or take, things go up, things go down. 140, it's really nice. Now as we start getting into the high-end sanders, things get pricey, but one of the best sanders that it's not crazy expensive. It's about $250, and if you've been buying $60 and $80 sanders, you're gonna see a massive difference in the way your hand feels, but also your finish. Is what we're after when we're sanding products, is we want the best finish possible. And if you're after that, there's a few here that are really gonna blow your mind if you've never used them before. And we'll start out from least expensive to most, as far as these higher end sanders go. Least expensive, the Festool ETS 125 REQ. This is a really good finish sander. It's a 5-inch sander. I like this. This was my first Festool sander. It does have detachable cord like the VEVOR does. And if you have various Festool products, corded products, their cord will interchange. So that's good. So we take it off this sander, throw it on this one, and I can just keep going. This is a variable speed sander. The dust collection is next level because it is a Festool. They're known for their dust collection. This is a very, very good sander for $249. If you're just wanting to dip your toes into the higher end sanders and you're looking at Festool, this is the one I tell you to pick. There's another one here. There's a couple more here that I really like better as far as for a few reasons, but this is a fantastic sander. I've used it for years. It's never given me any trouble. It still works just like it did the day I got it. So if you're looking for just a really good sander, you're just starting out in high-end sanders for $250, this one is very difficult to beat. Cordless sanders slap, as my daughter says. They're next level this year. The innovations and the quality we've gotten this year in cordless sanders are just crazy good. The Milwaukee M12 line is one of those. There's a couple more here. This is very good. Some of the lowest vibration I've ever felt on a sander is this one right here, the Milwaukee 332nd or 2.5 millimeter stroke. Now these are advertised to automotive body repair people, whatever you call them, but it's a sander. It's a 2.5 millimeter stroke. Dust collection is fantastic. You do get variable speed. You do get the paddle switch. You do get the really good ergonomic design. They're also very well balanced. The only drawback to these, in my opinion, is battery life. You're not going to get a very much battery life out of these M12 batteries. Even the higher 4.0 and 5.0 XC batteries that I'm running, I think 30 minutes was, or right at 30 minutes was the longest runtime. The other ones, the 2.5 amp hour batteries, you're going to get about 15 minutes. So if you're looking for a long battery life, this ain't it. But if you're looking for a very good cordless sander, good dust collection, variable speed, minimal vibration, this one's it. They also have a 5 millimeter, I think it is, stroke. It's a 3/16 inch stroke. It is a very good sander. I like it quite a lot, but if you're looking for one for finishes only, this 2.5 millimeter is probably the way to go, but I really like that 5 millimeter better. I just prefer those for sanding wood. They've done a really good job. 6-inch sanders, these are just some of the best out, but if you're looking for more battery life, I've got a pick for you in a minute. Now, Milwaukee also come out with an M18 version. I'm not a fan of that. It's pretty vibrating. It's kind of off balanced. I just wish they had done a better job with that one, but there's a lot of people that are big fans of that. So if you are, you should probably check that one out as well. Next, this Makita. I was impressed with this one. I was very impressed. It's cordless, but it's corded. In other words, the battery connects to this adapter here. You can clip this on you. You can throw it on the workbench, whatever. I think this is one of the better ideas for cordless sanders. It's very good. The vibration here is very minimal. We're looking at a 5 millimeter stroke as seen on the top here. It does have that really nice design. Can you see a theme here with a lot of these design sanders? Because this design works. It's just so ergonomic. It keeps your hand over the top of the center of the pad. You're really close to the work. It's just a really good design, so your hand doesn't get fatigued as much. And now this one is variable speed, dust collection is very good, heat buildup is minimal on this one. I think if you're in the Makita platform, 40 volt, this is the way to go. Battery life, about 40-ish, 45 minutes on a 4 or 5 amp hour battery. So I think you're looking at really good battery life with this Makita. I was seriously impressed with it. And I love the fact that they offloaded the battery. This is one of the most genius designs that come out this year, one of. Next, corded Festool. This is my pick. If you're looking at like, I just want to buy one Festool and be done, get this one, Festool ETS EC 150/5. There is a /3, which means 3mm stroke. Again, I like the 5mm stroke for sanding wood. Like if you're just building regular projects, this is it. 6-inch or 150 millimeters, that's what the 150 means. So it's just shy of 6 inches, but they call it 6. You can't go wrong. Dust collection is second to none. Vibration is extremely minimal. You're going to get the sanding job done much faster because it is a 6-inch pad. You got the variable speed. It's Festool. This is it. Like this is the one. If you're buying one on this list, one and done, this is the one I'm going to tell you to buy if you want corded. But if you want a cordless sander, you got to check this out. These two look almost identical minus the battery, and this is the Festool cordless sander, and it has a light. And this light is not just a gimmick. I thought it was going to be. This light is one of the greatest features they have ever put on a sander. Now I know the Ryobi has a light. If I was comparing these two lights against each other, this is the sun and this is the moon on a dark night. Like that's that much difference. Now, why would you want a light like this on a sander? Especially if you're a beginner, you may not know. This is called a rake light. And what this light does is cast a very even light across your sanding surface so you can see all of the imperfections. So if you want to get the best possible finish, flawless finish, you can see everything. Little divots in the wood, you can see the wood grain, you can see the swirl patterns, you can see any dust that's laying there. This is the way to go. Now, as far as balance goes, this is one of the better balanced cordless sanders I've used, and these 3 cordless sanders changed my mind this year about cordless sanders. I did not like them. I did not like cordless sanders. I thought they were a waste of money up until these 3 come out this year. Beginning with the M12, then I got the Makita, and then I got the Festool. And I bought all of these cordless sanders. They're just, I've been wanting to test them. This is the way to go. It has the light. You can change the light settings with the button from 25% to 100% to off. It does have variable speed. The dust collection, again, is great. Battery life is fair. We're looking at just over right at 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes with a 4 amp hour battery. These batteries are Bluetooth connectable, so you can actually connect them to an app and you can see various settings about your sander, but you can also see very good information about how many hours is on the sander, what the temperature of the sander is. So there are some really good information there. You don't have to connect it to an app, but you can if you want to, and I think that's a really cool feature. Ergonomics is good, vibration is minimal. If you're looking for the best cordless sander with the greatest features or the most innovative features, then the Festool is it. If you're looking for a cordless sander that'll get the job done without all that stuff, just get the Makita. It offloads the battery. It's really good. If you don't care about battery life, you want the smoothest sander possible, Milwaukee 2.5mm. But if you're not looking for these very expensive sanders, I would check out the VEVOR. It's a very good option. I bought this myself on Amazon. When I saw it, I thought, man, I like this design. It's in that modern, more ergonomic design. It also has a 6-inch pad. It also has variable speed. The only drawback is it does have some vibration there. But if you've been using this more budget-friendly sanders, it's going to feel very similar to that. So you already know what that feels like. If you're looking to step it up and you don't want those vibrations, check out some of these other options. No matter what sander you choose, there's 3 accessories that will make your life way easier. This is one of them. This is like a storage thing for like art supplies, but it works fantastic for up to 6-inch sandpaper, so 5 and 6-inch paper. It's called an art bin. I'll link to it in the description below. But I've had this for a couple of years now, and it just works great. Just to keep everything nice and organized, and so I know where all my sandpaper's at and when I'm running low. Also, second, is this Dust Right hose adapter kit. If you have a shop vac or any dust collection type thing, you need to adapt down the size of that hose to fit these smaller ports on the sanders, this will do it. There's a lot of different connections here that'll fit various different tools from sanders and routers and track saws. I like this kit. It's a really well-priced kit for what you're getting as well. I think it's one of those options that everybody should have. And number 3, I think it's very important, although I didn't see the importance of this early on in my woodworking journey, is a dust extractor. Now these are very expensive tools, but they collect their HEPA filtration, so they're collecting down to 0.3 microns like very, very microscopic type dust that'll get into your lungs and cause damage. This is collecting that, and I think they're important. And I bought several, and I've tested several on the channel. If you're looking for a budget-friendly one, just get the Hercules from Harbor Freight. If you're looking for a more higher end, I have to recommend Festool. I have 2 of them. I think they're great. I think the CT36 is probably the best size for most people. 36 meaning 36 liters, or about 8 or 9 gallons. You do the math, but it's about that. Or the new Milwaukee dust extractor is out of this world. It's cordless and corded, so you're going to get the best of both worlds. You can use it either way. I think it's a really good option as well, but I think it's very important to get a dust extractor if you're going to be sanding a lot, because your health matters. But if you're still looking for the best sander under $100, I did a whole video, like I tested 14 or 15 different sanders to find the best one. Click in that box, go watch it. It'll get you a big old virtual fist bump.